Hey everyone, Dave here for Quest for the Weekend. We're doing another deck walkthrough today. It's another commander deck of mine. Today we are talking Teval, the Arbiter of Virtue. So I think this is a very cool version of this card, by the way. I did not pull this one specifically. I did pull the Teval in my pre-release pack. But a friend had this one. I really like these negative space cards. I think they're very cool. So again, he is Sultai. Flying lifelink. Spells you cast have delve, and whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value. Now, the trick with this card is I forget about the delve a lot, even though it is the reason why I built the deck in the first place. So it is a very tricky and annoying deck for me sometimes, but it is fairly new. So obviously just since Dragon's Storm, I've played it a few times with middling results. So a lot of losses, some wins. There are still some cards that need to go into this. I think I've got a few of the really heavy hitters, which I'm enjoying. And again, I'll point those out as I go. So as usual, if you've got a Teval deck, or Teval, however you want to pronounce it, I don't care. Please let me know in the comments below how it's been going for you. I think there are some really weird interactions with this card, which is why I liked it in the first place. Delve is very, very cool, but I find myself killing myself all the time. That is my actual problem with this deck. I don't know when to stop, and I find myself dying to spells of doom. So anyway, let's take a look at some of the lands real quick. There is a bit of a different mix in this one. Because it's a newer deck, I should say, comparatively to some of my older decks, the land base isn't great. But again, I have so many decks, the land base is always the last thing to go in. So, you know, through testing it changes. This is a MDFC land, so green, blue. Command Tower, obviously. This is the Lord of the Rings promo card for Tranquil Thicket, just a cycling land. Obviously, I've got a few of the cycle lands in here because of them being in the graveyard. It helps for delve cost. Wreck Tower, as usual. Tomb, Fortress. This one, a bit of a utility land. It's annoying and enters tapped, but paying 5, exile this, mill 4 cards and return a creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. So for the slowdown, late game, this has got a good payoff, I would say. You know, if all has gone wrong, I can still return one of the creatures that I mill. Exotic Orchard, I think there's a good colors for Exotic Orchard. It's very likely green, black, or blue. I think are some of the most common colors, at least in my opinion. So this always works for me. Sunken Hollow, War Room. This is the Fallout one. Again, there's a lot of life pay in this, so I figure what's 3 more life to draw a card. Myriad Landscape. This is another basic land cycling card, but again, just for the bin stuff, bin interactions, but also color fixing in 3. I find this helps, and if I don't need the color, it's just a untapped land. Another cycling land, Terramorphic Expanse. Again, same thing, these fetchy lands, good for the bin. Unfortunately, a tapped tri-land. Jungle Hollow tapped to gain life, which for the first time, these lands actually make sense because I really need that life back. Evolving Wilds, we got some Scry Temples. There's another one that I found some utility with. It actually has never triggered for me at all in the sense I've never paid for it, but 6 to do the same thing as that Tomb Fortress. It's 1 more, but it's just another effect. So if it ever came up, I'd be happy to try it. Check lands, and more cycling, and then basics. So yeah, not a lot of fancy lands, I would say. Probably need to do some more, especially because it's a 3-color land, a 3-color deck. I would say that is not enough fetching and fetchable lands, is how I would put it. Let's get into the deck proper. I'm going to split it in 2 as usual so I can fit it on the camera. Grapple with the Past, just mill things. This is... people make fun of me for this card, but I've got a few of them. This is my replacement Cyclonic Rift. It is technically only sorcery speed, which sucks, but when I'm putting Cyclonic Rift in something, I need to be sure I want it in the deck. So I put this in first, and then if everything works out, I use this. So essentially for, this one's 8, but the Unearth is 7, which is why I've got it here, because it also mills, so this works in a couple different decks. But when it enters, it returns all non-land permanents in their own hands. It is unfortunately everybody gets milled, everybody gets bounced, but it still works for me. I don't mind it. Even if I discard a couple cards, it still works. One of the fuel spells, I would say, this one. So Stillness in Motion just lets me mill a couple cards at the beginning, which gives me some fuel. Sisters of Silence, this is probably not necessary for the deck. I do like the card. It's 5 for a flash, 3/3 body, and it counters triggered abilities, spells, whatever it is. I don't know if this is necessary. I'd probably just replace it with Counterspell, if I'm being honest. What I have done with this deck is, you can see my little miscut card here from this Modern Masters Commander deck, but I put a lot of the Goyfs in here because there's a lot of obviously graveyard filling and just as a couple bodies to use. So these have worked very well for me. Keru Goldkeeper, not anything spectacular, but it gets me a treasure whenever I delve. Ramp with Threshold, I should say. Garrick, this is supposed to be just removal. Again, probably not necessary in this deck either, but I'm not sure what to replace it with just yet. Stasis Field, I like this kind of removal. It turns off a troubling commander or a creature that might be causing me an issue. And because of all the graveyard interactions, sometimes I like to leave some things on the battlefield, stuck in where they are. Seeds of Renewal, it's just ramp, it's just recursion, sorry, but gets better the more people you have. This is the other big one, I think, in this deck, which is Platinum Empyrean. This works very well. Having all this life loss from Teval means that with this, I can delve without worry, I can cast without any fear. There's a whole bunch of other lose life effects in this as well. So this really, to me, is a very important card if you can get it out. Plus, I can delve it for 8. If I just pay the 8 with all cards from a graveyard, then I'm sorted. Here's one of the savey cards that I put in. This gains me life. So I don't mind the draw or the life in this situation. Any life gain in these colors is very helpful in this point. Monastery Siege. It's got the discard in it, which is really why it's in here. But obviously, if there is a person on the board who's very target friendly, target heavy, then this could also work. But generally, it's for the draw 2 and discard a card. Cultivate. Lotus Cobra. There's a couple land effects and returning lands from the graveyard. So that is always helpful. Plus, it's just a bit of ramp in these colors. Another one, and to be honest, I think this might be coming out. I don't think I cast enough spells in a turn to make this trigger the way it should. I have another home in mind for this card, which I think might be much better, but the thought was that if I'm gaining a little bit of life from casting a few spells, but at the same time, I think what happens is like I play one spell, it costs me 3 life, I gain 1. Then I play a second spell, it costs me maybe 4 life, and then I gain 2. It takes too much to get me to the right spot. So I think I got a better spot for this one, which I'll talk about in another video. Signet. Rex Sage, which needs no explanation. Archon of Cruelty. This is one of the targets for bringing things back from the graveyard. I think this is one of the most horrifyingly broken creature cards, in Commander anyway. Its effect is so devastating that it can really, really swing the tide of a game. So I like this in my graveyard, so I don't have to pay the 8 for it, but I'll hard cast it. I don't care. If I've got the 8 mana, I'll do it. But in this deck as well, the other thing to think about, I can delve away that 6 and it ends up being 2 black mana. Pretty solid. Just a sort of a ramp card, but also fuel for the delve engine. Here's another one I really enjoy, Scourge Familiar. Discard a card, add a black. So I can discard something, add a black, then delve that card out. That's another colorless mana. It sort of feeds into a couple different aspects of the deck. I think it's very good, particularly for an uncommon. Phyrexian Delver, again, I've milled something or I've discarded something, I want to bring it back, that helps. But again, life loss, this hurts sometimes. So don't like to do that too often. I got a lot of unearthed cards in here as well, I should mention. Obviously, because I'm milling myself out a little bit, it's nice to have some options in the graveyard if Teval's not working out. So this one exiles permanents. So for 7, for 4, it's very good. But when it comes back from the graveyard, it exiles something, so it's not too bad. Baragoyf, bit of lifelink, which helps. Shard of the Nightbringer. Again, this is really just for the get the life gain, if I'm being totally honest with you. If I can delve away the 5, that's great. I pay the 3 black, awesome. I'm losing 8 life, but they could be. I gain life equals the life lost when I'm hitting. When I cast it, sorry. So this nets me a bunch of life back. Withering Torment is good removal. Ripples of Undeath. This is good fuel. Again, same thing as the stillness in motion thing. But this also lets me recover one of those cards. So I do enjoy that. But again, also life loss. So it can hurt sometimes. Go for the Throat. Signet. Living Death, which I'm sure everybody knows, but this is a nice way to just recur everything back all at once. Treasure Cruise. The original Delve. I don't think that needs any explanation. Next set here. Obsessive Stitcher. This has come in handy for me. Unlike the lands, I've used this one. So the draw and discard helps, obviously, for fuel. But then, bring creature card back from the graveyard to the battlefield helps. And this doing it for 4 is useful. Plus instant speed. Milken, same thing. Just another fuel, ramp sort of thing. Harrow. Exsanguinate, this is probably the biggest hitter. This is what won me my last game with this deck. Because you can delve the X cost, which I almost forgot, which is why I mentioned I generally sometimes do forget about the delve. I was stuck thinking about how I could get the extra damage through, but I forgot that I could delve it away. So this works wonders. Anything with an X cost like this that's going to do everything that I wanted to do. Like, this is the perfect card for this deck. I can delve away as much as I need to, and I'm going to lose the life, but I'm going to gain it back and then some. So it generally works very well. Night's Whisper, one of the best black draw spells, I think. If anybody wants to fight me, you can. Arcane Signet. This is my my replacement for playing lands from the graveyard. Unfortunately, I don't have too many cards that do it. This is a good one. I basically only choose a Sultai version, just to be able to play my land cards back. Squirming Emergence, I have used this many times, and this works definitely better in the late game, I would say. You can sort of get anything you want, but it's a good return card recursion. Soul Ring, Solemn, World Shaper, this also helpful. It mills, so it feeds the engine, but I find most people just kill it straight away, so I tend to get one attack off. But if you've got a couple lands in there, this comes back. It sort of pays for itself. They don't need to. I don't think this needs much explanation. But if you can get it off for 1 green mana, why not? I lose 4 life for it, but hey, it's fine. Beacon of Unrest, pretty common black recursion sort of card. Thirst for Knowledge. I put a lot of these in, the ones that make you discard, because obviously, again, the fuel helps. I can bring things back pretty easily. Out from the Tombs. This is another one of the fuel cards, the enchantments that get me stuff that mill at the beginning. But this one can get very steadily out of control. So this is much better early. Otherwise, if you do it too late, it can actually be really devastating. This helps. I don't have too many creatures in this deck, I would say. There's not a massive amount, and this could lose me the game, but it's never done it yet, so that's okay. Stinging Study. Yeah, this is just more life loss, really. But I suppose because of the life gain that I'm getting, I'm trying to avoid. I didn't think it mattered, but it's a good draw card. Druidic Ritual, mill 3, return some stuff. Muldrotha, which I think is probably pretty obvious for most people. This is also a swap out commander, so if I feel like Teval needs a break or I just want to try something different, this is a nice swap out commander for me. It essentially does the same thing with all the other mill effects that are in the graveyard in the deck. It means I'm able to switch it up. Signet, Lifecrafter's Bestiary. This is scry 1 and get to draw cards if I pay green. Putrefy. Terastodon, I feel like this is in most decks that have green. But it's just good removal. Rain of Thorns, this one sucks, and there's probably much better removal. I do need to replace this. I just need to find the right card. Aftermath and Analyst, this has done, amazing things for me, if I'm being totally honest with you. This sacrifice at my speed is as opposed to when it dies, like the World Shaper. This is really, really good card. I appreciate this very much. Compulsive Research, just a discard outlet. Palace Siege, this has been for each opponent loses 2 life and I gain 2, just to give me that little extra boost. If I'm bringing everybody else down, I don't mind losing a little bit of life, right? I just want to stay as far ahead as possible. So this has worked really, really well for me. Grave Endeavor, I feel like this is a spell that I don't see very often at all, but it's very, very good, particularly when you've got a bunch of things in the bin. You roll, it's costly, but with the Delve, it's fine. You roll 2d10, one creature card from your graveyard comes back with X 1/1 counters, which is one of the results, and then you gain that life where X is the other result. So either way, I'm usually not too far behind on life with something like this, but also getting something back. If you've got the Archfiend in the graveyard, glorious. Cemetery Tampering, just a hideaway and a bit of mill. It's just a free spell, really. Yeah, it lets me mill. That's really it. Frantic Search, same thing again, just some discard. Villas, this one's been pretty good, although again, same thing, can get out of control. So whenever I lose life, I draw that many cards, which means every spell that I play, I draw as many cards as the CMC is. So that can help me find something that is going to gain me some life back, or maybe make all that worthwhile. This thing with the Aether Flux Reservoir has been very handy, because I end up having the gas in my hand to be able to do the life gain potentially. But again, yeah, like every spell I'm casting, I'm losing life, plus I'm then, drawing a bunch of cards. So this can get out of hand. This is just a nice removal. Awaken the Honor Dead for 3. It's destroy a non-land permanent, then mill 3. And then return a card from my graveyard to my hand. It's not a bad card for 3 early game. It's quite nice. Grizzly Salvage, pretty straightforward. More mill, more get. So yeah, that is my Teval deck. Like I said, it's not it's quite a newish deck in the grand scheme of things, even though we've had like 7 sets since Dragonstorm's come out. But it certainly hasn't had as much love as some of the other decks, I would say. So there's a lot of things I need to change here. I like the idea of the deck. I don't think this one's very fine-tuned. I would love to hear from you guys about some of the things you've seen in this deck so far that you don't think work, some of the things you might suggest. Did I show you anything that you hadn't thought of before? That'd be great. Let me know in the comments below. I really love to talk about it. I'm extremely stubborn, but I do like to talk about it. So, with all that in mind, thank you again for checking out my deck. I will come back with a couple other videos. Still plenty more decks to go. At this point, we've still got about 41 to go. Lots of other content I've got coming up and brewing in my mind for what we're doing in the future. But I really appreciate you checking out the channel. And, if you did like it, please share, like, subscribe, whatever works for you. Any support you show is always very helpful. Until next time, thank you so much. Peace.